Here are some of the headlines we are featuring today from your favorite news outlets at offthepress.com. Get ready for a second wave of Canadian wildfire smoke. Officials said that it's already settling into Chicago, Detroit, and other Midwest cities, and is aiming for the East Coast. Up to 80 million people are being warned to take cover. The head of the Wagner Group, the Russian mercenary force, has accepted exile in Belarus in the latest turn of last weekend's one-day rebellion. Meanwhile, Kyiv sees blood in the water and is predicting the end of Vladimir Putin's rule. Arizona's Kari Lake has her first book out as she readies a Senate bid. She has hit the book tour circuit with a warning that if Trump gets the Republican nomination, Democrats will roll out a bigger cheating machine. And what about Pepsi-infused ketchup? Well, it's headed to a handful of ballparks for a taste test. For stories like these and more updates all day long from your favorite news outlets, go to offthepress.com.
America's Voice Live, America's fastest growing news program. With Steve Gruber.
We've got to put America first. You do that by voting and bringing your friends to do the same.
Delivering the latest news, observations, and opinions. With the entire Real America's Voice team, America's Voice Live starts now.
Welcome to America's Voice Live. I'm Steve Gruber. Today, Wednesday, June 28th. Let's get to today's top stories, and thank you for joining me halfway through this week. Coming up, the National Legal and Policy Center saying that the evidence it submitted to the DOJ in 2020 should have elicited stronger charges under the Foreign Agents Registration Act involving Hunter Biden. We'll get to all of that. Paul Kamenar will join me with that story. Also, the mainstream media has been salivating over the leaked CNN audio, claiming it would be disastrous for Donald Trump's case. But reports indicate now that the Iran document isn't even listed in the classified records list. And then later, 3 out of 5 student campus reform interviews stated that they have experienced more vandalism and backlash since Roe was overturned. Emily Fowler from Campus Reform joining me to talk about that coming up. But first, let's talk about something that is on my mind. It's quite clear that with yet another leak that impacts only Donald Trump and never Democrats, that the deck is getting stacked against the 45th President of the United States again. This time, the left-wing propaganda machine is pumping out stories about a leaked audio tape that they claim proves Donald Trump had illegal classified documents in his possession after leaving office, and that he shared those documents with people who could not legally see them. So today we're going to start by dissecting the audio tape and then hearing what Trump and others have to say about what is actually going on. Now, this tape that has been intentionally and illegally leaked, I might add, is from 2 years ago, and I want us to all listen together, okay? Here it is.
These are bad, sick people.
That was your coup, against you.
Well, it started right at the
beginning. Like when Millie's talking about, you were going to try to do a coup. No, they were trying to do that before you even were sworn in. That's right. Trying to overthrow your election.
Well, with Millie, let me see that. I'll show you an example. He said that I wanted to attack Iran. Isn't it amazing? I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came out. Look. This was him. They presented me this. This is off the record, but they presented me this. This was him. This was the Defense Department and him. Wow. We looked at some. This was him. This wasn't done by me. This was him. All sorts of stuff. It's pages long. Look. Wait a minute. Let's see here.
Yeah.
I just found, isn't that amazing? This totally wins my case, Mm-hmm. Except it is like highly confidential, secret. This is secret information. Look at this. You attack, and
Hillary would print that out all the time.
So that may sound damning if you're told what to listen for and what you're hearing. It's like playing Led Zeppelin albums backwards. Here's what you're going to hear. But is it really anything significant? I don't think so. Because nobody on the left has been able to say at this point what document it would even be. There is no such document in circulation that anybody can find, and they've not produced the document at all. This is all conjecture at best and another smear job at worst, and all with the very same intent. Destroy Donald Trump at all costs. That's the bottom line. Destroy Donald Trump at any and all costs. So here's how it finishes. Listen, and then I'll get into what the left is trying to get Americans to think about all of this. Here's part 2.
And
Hillary would print that out all the time. Private email.
No, she sent it to Anthony Weiner.
Yeah.
The pervert. By the way, isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
I was just saying, because we were talking about it, and he said he wanted to attack Iran and what? These are the papers. This was done by the military, given to me. I think we can probably, right?
I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to try to figure out
See, as president, I could have declassified.
Yeah.
No, I can't. But this is
now we have a problem.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It's so cool. I mean, it's so. Here I have. And you probably almost didn't believe me, but now you believe me.
No, I believe
it's incredible, right?
No,
hey, bring some Cokes in.
And of course, those on the left were absolutely giddy with excitement. This they say, this they feel is the smoking gun they've all been waiting for. They'll finally be able to put their political opponent in jail for the rest of his life. Left-wingers love that type of good old-fashioned fascism, of course. They always have. I guess it's in their nature. Anyway, here's Rachel Maddow. If you can stomach it, listen.
Part of his sort of purported defense, or part of his attempted defense, if you could even call it that, it doesn't even seem that coherent, is to say, yes, these things were classified, but I used my mind to declassify them. As president, I could have declassified it. Now I can't, but this is classified. Isn't that interesting? It's so cool. It's a lot of things. I'm not sure cool is like in the top 6,000, but this is definitely the kind of thing that sounds like it should end up in a federal criminal indictment.
Of course, that's the same Rachel Maddow that told you if you just got the jab, the virus ended with you. It was scientific certainty. So, Rachel, not too credible. Now, of course, nobody's talking about General Mark Milley potentially lying about Trump being some kind of warmonger, which, of course, he was not. This while Trump asserts that the military was trying to push him into attacking Iran. They wanted the war, which, of course, would likely have devastating consequences for anyone and everyone involved. What's exactly true? Well, we don't know yet. And those on Trump's team are saying this recording proves nothing. And the Democrats are desperate to get Trump out of the race and protect the 81-year-old incumbent from being pummeled in the 2024 election, which, in all fairness, has been exactly what the left has been trying to do. Here's former House Intel Committee Chair Devin Nunes, who says this is all a whole lot about a whole lot of nothing. Listen.
To selectively leak. It is to take something possibly out of context. What I heard right there, it's a nothing burger. There's nothing there. It appears like he's maybe referring to some article, some story maybe that had just come out. I think there's no question that Republicans in general, especially Trump, have no use for General Milley. We think that he's went woke. He's done a lot of damage to the military. And so the fact that Trump is responding to something that we're not even sure what it is yet, but my guess is that there was some type of fake news story that had just recently been out in the news that President Trump was looking at and he wasn't happy about, and he was having a back and forth with a reporter. And then finally there's this, Bianca. What document? What is it? Why don't they name it? I mean, if it's like some Iran war plans, we've heard lots of leaks of.
Of course, Adam Schiff had the smoking gun over and over, didn't he? Oh, little Adam Schiff. I've got the proof. You'll just have to wait for it, but I've got. Stop it. As for the former president, he says this is par for the course and is very predictable, which, of course, it is. Check this out.
I'm covered also by the Clinton Sox case. It's a very important case. It's law. And we did absolutely nothing wrong. This is just another hoax. It's called, I would say, election interference more than anything else. It's a disgrace that they can do it. Next question. But everything was fine. We did nothing wrong, and everybody knows it.
And President Trump even addressed this all last week with Bret Baier of Fox News before the audio was even released publicly and illegally. I add again for your context and understanding. Here it is.
There was no document. That was a massive amount of papers and everything else talking about Iran and other things. And it may have been held up or may not, but that was not a document. I didn't have a document per se. There was nothing to declassify. These were newspaper stories, magazine stories, and articles.
So the question here is, what is the DOJ's play? by leaking these tapes. It's illegal. Of course, it happens to Donald Trump on an almost daily basis. Never happens to those on the left, but to those in Trump's circle, it does. Now, some reports are saying this tape might not be admissible in court. That's true. If they're worried about it, maybe they're trying to influence public opinion before the trial begins. What do you think? We'll get to more of that later in the program. And believe it or not, there are even some high-profile liberal journalists, and yes, believe it or not, a couple do still survive in the wild. Well, they are pointing to a pattern of lawlessness. Lawlessness coming from the Biden White House and permeating through his entire administration, the Department of Justice, the FBI, all of it. Glenn Greenwald mocked the Biden apparatus and administration, feigning anger and indignation for what Trump did, while at the same time leaks are occurring every day from every single direction. Here he is.
And all the same people who every day spill top secret information on the pages of the newspapers or who inside the government pass it to reporters are feigning this indignation over how Donald Trump treated our sacred classified documents by keeping it recklessly or negligently inside Mar-a-Lago to the point that he's being indicted, when every day far more serious leaks happen and they don't even charge the person at all. They don't even care to pretend that they're angry about it. This is how you see the politicization of the Justice Department on the other end, where they're clearly abusing the justice system. They want to charge Donald Trump.
They do want to charge Donald Trump. It's all they dream about. Now, can anyone really say what Greenwald say there isn't exactly true and exactly what's really happening? No, of course not. The Biden DOJ is looking for crimes to charge the former president with so they can get him out of the picture, out of the race for president in 2024 once and for all, while simultaneously distracting from one of the worst presidential terms in modern history, perhaps the worst ever. Joe Biden's pathetic. By the way, while this latest distraction is dragged across the American media landscape, the whistleblowers, remember them? Well, they're getting larger in number and louder in their cries that David Weiss, the state's attorney in Delaware, investigating Hunter Biden and the Biden family corruption scandal that involves numerous allegations of bribery and money laundering. Well, the newest whistleblower, known only as Mr. X, he says Weiss had no authority to do much of anything and had to run everything past his higher-ups. Everything. Weiss denies that he was a kept man or on a leash, leading all the way to AG Merrick Garland and ultimately Joe Biden. He denies that. And that's why you can expect him to face hard questions from Republicans in the U.S. House about what his role really has been in the Hunter Biden corruption investigation, which reminded me of something. I'd heard previously. So I went back and dug through the archives for you, because you need to see this. You need to understand this. You see, back in the 1970s, Biden joked about whether or not he was corrupt or not. And then he outlined a system where the money is always in play. The money is always in play, and he thinks it's funny. Listen.
As the youngest member of the Senate, the one, therefore, who may expect the longest career there, I wonder if you'd say to us, since it's clear that you're not corrupt and you got elected, why should people think that the system produces corrupt results when there you are?
Well, I'm not sure you should assume I'm not corrupt, but thank you for that, though. The system does produce corruption, and I think implicit in the system is corruption, when in fact, whether or not you can run for public office, and it costs a great deal of money to run for the United States Senate, even from a small state like Delaware, you have to go to those people who have money, and they always want something.
Yeah, Joe Biden jokes about whether or not he is a corrupt politician. I'm not sure you should assume I'm not corrupt. Money breeds corruption. Now it looks like that was no joke at all, just him saying, hey, pay to play. By the way, where is he? Oh, that's right. He's out asking for more money, more money, more money. Watch.
A lot of fundraising, Joe. We're at the last week of the fundraising period. So the president's focus beyond those economic speeches is raising a lot of money. Today, he's heading to suburban Washington, D.C. to do that. He'll be flying to Chicago to give that speech, but also raise money. And then I'll be heading to join you in New York on Thursday, where the president also has fundraisers.
Oh, and what about this president? What about his competency? All right, set the scandals aside, the bribery, the money laundering, the lying about your son, Hunter, and what he's up to, and forget about the laptop. Forget about all of that. Because before the show today, Joe Biden was he's in tip-top form. alleging Vladimir Putin is losing that war he's involved in Iraq. Here it is.
It's hard to tell, but he's clearly losing the war in Iraq. He's losing the war at home. And he has become a bit of a fly around the world. It's not just NATO. It's not just the European Union. It's Japan. It's 40 nations.
By the way, he said it not once, but twice. That Vladimir Putin is losing that war in Iraq. So can you see now why the left is trying so desperately to jail this guy's political opponent? I mean, this guy, he can't run a bath, let alone the greatest country in the world. Eye-opening, isn't it? Coming up after the break, everyone knows that Hunter Biden got a slap on the wrist recently, and the National Legal and Policy Center not just going to let it slide. The head counsel from the NLPC, Paul Kamenar, joining me next here on America's Voice Live. Don't go anywhere.
Hey everyone, it's me, Sebastian, and it is a beautiful day today. We have so much to be grateful for, so just remember, if you see someone without a smile, give them one of yours. I just love inspiring people to be the best they can be, and the reason I'm able to inspire so many people is because people like you who inspire me with your support of Shriners Hospitals for Children. Since I was little, I've broken 100 bones, and I've had 19 surgeries. Shriners Hospitals for Children was with me every step of the way. But more than that, they've given me the confidence to know I can do whatever I set my mind to. Like right now, I've set my mind to sharing my smile with you. Did you get it?
Because of people like you, I can play the violin.
I can play piano.
I can Irish dance.
The help I get is only possible because of caring people like you who pick up the phone and call the number on your screen to make your monthly gift.
And when you call or go online right now to donate $19 a month or more, we'll send you this adorable Love to the Rescue blanket as a thank you and a reminder of all the smiles you're bringing to kids' faces every day.
Kids like me.
And me.
And me.
And me. So what are you waiting for? You can inspire kids like me by visiting loveshriners.org. After all, you can't help everyone, but you can help someone. So let's go!
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for giving. Join me and bring a smile to the world with your monthly gift today.
Please call now. If operators are busy, please call again or go to loveshriners.org right away.
Join me and bring a smile to the world.
Why is everyone talking about Navage and nasal irrigation?
I am one who suffers from chronic sinus infection.
You need to clean that crap out of your nose.
Navage is simple. Your nose is the body's air filter, but it's not perfect. Navage is a drug-free way to help flush out allergens, mucus, and germs using powered suction. Join nearly 3 million Navage users so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier.
I love this thing.
It's nice to breathe.
Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
National Legal and Policy Center blasting the slap on the wrist, the sweetheart deal that Hunter Biden is getting in the form of 2 misdemeanor charges of tax evasion and a felony gun charge for failing to tell the truth on an application to buy a gun. He did that illegally. By the way, he owed over $2.2 million. Over $2.2 million he owed. And it wasn't just that he missed the payment. It was that he manipulated the whole system. Did a bunch of games to not pay the taxes, and he's not going to jail? The NLPC says that the evidence is submitted to the DOJ in 2020 should have elicited much stronger charges under the Foreign Agents Registration Act, considering Hunter engaged in political activities on behalf of Burisma and Chinese entities, just named 2 of many. Joining me live now to discuss NLPC lead counsel Paul Kamenar. Paul, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Steve. Nice to be here.
I mean, I've been over this many times, but look, he owed $2.2 million in unpaid taxes. It wasn't just that he missed the payment. He played games of sending the money to a Chinese corporation and then having it loaned back to him. It was a scheme, It was a money laundering scheme. It was a tax evasion scheme. It was a lot of felonies is what it was. And if it were you or I or anybody else, we would have already been in prison. I believe that to be a fact. What say you?
Oh, absolutely. This is outrageous. I mean, just looking at the proposed plea agreement and the charges, they say that he earned more than $1.5 million in 2017 and more than $1.5 million in 2018, and that he owed taxes in excess of $100,000 in 2018 and 2017 and $100,000 in 2018. But they don't tell you what the excess is. They say he just owes more than $100,000. They had the right numbers, and you're right. He owed millions of dollars, and he did play games. And some of these games, called for felony charges. Just for an example, just in 2018 alone, he was playing games with taking deductions that range from $267,000 to $500,000. What were some of those funny deductions? Well, he deducted $10,000 for joining a golf club. Turns out the golf club is a sex club. He also deducting payments to employees and hotel rooms when these were his girlfriends and prostitutes. I mean, this is the kind of tax evasion.
Yeah, I mean, it's so jaw-dropping. I mean, you're paying for sex clubs and calling it, whatever. You're paying prostitutes. You're putting up drug dealers in hotel rooms and long-term rentals. I mean, this is one crime fueling another crime being paid for by a series of crimes and money laundering and bribery. And he gets 2 misdemeanors and a felony that will go away if he behaves himself, because he'll never be down at the soup kitchen slinging potatoes like most people in, doing community service. He won't mow the lawn at the local courthouse doing community service. He won't do doodly squat. And he won't do 1 minute of jail time for something that would have sent you or I or any other American to jail for an extended period of time. And that is what's outrageous, Paul.
Absolutely. And thank God for the House Ways and Means Committee getting these 2 IRS whistleblowers who are coming forth with this information and testifying how the U.S. attorney said Weiss that his hands were tied, that he couldn't press these charges. And yet Mayor Garland said, oh, no, I gave him carte blanche. He can file any charges as he wants. Somebody's lying here, and they had to get both these guys under oath before Congress and get to the bottom of this, because this sweetheart deal really stinks to high heavens.
Yeah, and so what can happen here? I mean, because it's not done yet. There's a whole pile of other money that's been identified. $5 million to Hunter, $5 million to his dad, $10 million that showed up on an S-Corp tax return for Joe Biden. You've got $8.3 million right now that the taxes remain unpaid on, my understanding. And it continues to come out. And then the whole thing with David Weiss saying, I had full authority. And Shapley, the whistleblower, says that's absolutely not true. And he outlined the same things that you outlined. Prostitutes, drug dealers, everything. There's a lot more to this, and it's getting bigger by the day, to the point that the mainstream media has to actually cover the story, which is quite telling, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Now, keep in mind that the judge has the final say-so about all of this when she imposes a sentence. At the end of July, there will be an appearance where Hunter, at that point, will make his plea. He'll get up there and say, I plead guilty to these 2 misdemeanors. Now, the judge, she can say, not so fast. I'm not accepting this. And I hope she grills the U.S. attorney to say, look, here's all these other charges that have been revealed by the IRS whistleblowers.
Expect that to happen, Paul.
As a patsy to cover this up.
I mean, I don't mean to jump in, but would you really expect that to happen, that the judge would say, I'm not going to accept this deal? That would be monumental. That would be game-changing. That would be the honest thing to do from everything. From all accounts, that would be the honest thing to do. But would you really expect that?
Well, probably not. But this is, at least as the pressure keeps coming on and on, I think the judge will basically discredit the whole court system if, in fact, she accepts this plea agreement. So I'm hoping against hope that that at least there are some questions to be asked. But more importantly, Steve, that the House Ways and Means Committee and the other oversight committees need to get to the bottom of this and find out what the truth is so that we can put an end to this two-tiered system of justice.
Yeah, it's got to end. If you commit financial crimes the way he has, you would go to jail. We need to stop this. Paul Kamenar, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Steve. Good to see you.
Good to see you. All right, coming up after the next break here, CBS reporting that the Iran memo is not even one of the classified documents that former President Trump is being charged with unlawfully retaining. Well, then what's the big deal with the tape? We'll talk about it straight ahead on America's Voice Live.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, ride your bike.
If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it.
If you're happy and you know it, smile big and bright.
Thousands of your kids just like me are happy every day.
And it's all because of generous people like you who support Shriners Hospitals for Children every month.
All you have to do is call the number on your screen or go online to loveshriners.org right now with your monthly gift.
Because of people like you, Shriners Hospitals for Children is able to make an everyday miracle happen for kids like me.
If you're happy and you know it, dance around. If you're happy and you know it, play a song.
If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it.
If you're happy and you know it, take a shot.
And when you call or go online right now to donate $19 a month or more, we'll send you this adorable Love to the Rescue blanket as a thank you and a reminder of all the smiles you're bringing to kids' faces every day.
Will today be the day you send your love to the rescue?
When you call the number on your screen right now and give as little as $19 a month, just 63 cents a day, you'll be making a life-changing difference for a child, just like Sarah.
Your monthly gift today could change your life forever.
Because of you.
We are happy and we know it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please call or go online right now to give. If operators are busy, please wait patiently or go to loveshriners.org right away.
Here at Allegiance Flag Supply, we take pride in providing such a special symbol for our country. All of our flag's materials are sourced in America and they are made by American seamstresses. So we are American made from beginning to end.
The bathroom of your dreams is only a phone call away with BCI Bath and Shower. We can make your ordinary bath and shower extraordinary. This is not a cookie cutter design. This is a complete custom build that will fit your every need, and discounts for seniors and military.
All right, so we've heard a lot about this. We've been talking about it, of course. A classified document detailing a potential attack on Iran, discussed in a leaked audio tape and then released by CNN, of course, the tape being leaked illegally. It's reportedly not a part of Special Counsel Jack Smith's 37-count indictment of President Donald Trump. The audio in question includes Donald Trump discussing a memo from the military that allegedly proved that General Mark Milley was the instigator in trying to provoke an attack by the United States against Iran. When Donald Trump pulled out of the Obama-era Iran deal, that's what they tried to push. Watch this.
This was done by the military, given to me. I think we can probably, right?
I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to try to figure out a
As president, I could have declassed.
Yeah.
No, I can't. But this is.
Now we have a problem.
Isn't that interesting?
Now, the mainstream media hopped all over the audio, claiming it would be disastrous. It's the smoking gun. It's the end of Donald Trump. They celebrated. They danced on the street. They kissed. But reports indicate now that the Iran document isn't even listed. It isn't even listed in the classified records that Smith is charging Trump with. It's not there. Smith's indictment outlines 31 classified records without naming the exact subject matter, and the Iran memo is not part of that ongoing list. Trump told SEMA 4 and ABC News it would say it was bravado. If you want to know the truth, it was bravado. I was talking and just holding up papers and talking about them, but I had no documents. I didn't have any documents. So there you have it. The House Oversight Committee is drawing attention to another Hunter Biden WhatsApp message that doesn't make the Biden crime family look any better. More of it, the committee chaired by Representative James Comer says that in a message from August 3rd, 2017, Hunter Biden tells a Chinese energy associate who's linked to the Chinese Communist Party, quote, "The Bidens are the best I know at doing exactly what the chairman wants from this partnership." Really? And the next day, one of Hunter's shell companies received $100,000 from that very same energy company. Gee, how convenient. Sure sounds like a family operation, doesn't it? This is the second message that the committee has released, the first showing Hunter threatening a Chinese official in order to secure payouts. And within a week of that message, a subsidiary of the same Chinese company forked over $5 million to Hunter. But I'm sure it's all a misunderstanding. I'm sure he's innocent. Residents at Turnberry Towers in Las Vegas, Nevada, likely grateful after an unnamed armed employee stopped an active shooter before he even got into the lobby of the building on Friday last week it happened. The story just now coming to light because Las Vegas police allegedly buried the story. LVPD still have not confirmed that an armed civilian took out this shooter in this publicly available video, which makes it clear that some kind of weapon was used to prevent the active shooter from harming anyone inside the building or on the street. Boom. The shooter shot out the glass of the apartment complex, but was immediately stopped by an unnamed employee that we know nothing about. Weird. Boom. Down you go. Because when Heritage fellow Amy Swearer attempted to gain more information on the employee 4 days after the incident, she was told she would need to submit a FOIA request because it was an active investigation. Authorities have reported that an employee stopped the shooter, but they won't confirm that it was with a weapon for unknown reasons. Maybe it was, magic dust and, defense fairies. Who knows? But whatever it was, it worked. I'm going to guess it was a gun. Coming up after the break, the hostilities toward pro-life students still happening on campus, even 1 year after Roe v. Wade was overturned. Emily Fowler from Campus Reform will join me next with all the details here on America's Voice Live.
This is Marianne's first time visiting Paris.
Où allez-vous?
Before Marianne packed her bags, before she attempted her first sentence in French, she downloaded Babbel. So when it came time to tell a cab driver to take her to the Hotel Pierre,
J'aimerais aller à l'Hôtel Pierre.
Oh, c'est très bien.
Babbel focuses on natural conversation. You can speak and pronounce with confidence. Start speaking a new language in 3 weeks at Babbel.com.
We're told in Genesis chapter 1:26 that God has made man in his image, and by his likeness has he made him.
Genesis is a book of fundamental importance for the Jewish and Christian faiths, and a literary masterpiece that has profoundly shaped Western civilization. Now, in this exclusive online course from Hillsdale College, you can deepen your understanding of how this ancient book is essential to you today. Sign up for the Genesis story, absolutely free, at learnfromhillsdale.org. Dr. Justin Jackson, a distinguished Hillsdale College professor, will guide you through this fascinating free online course that unfolds the biblical stories of Adam and Eve, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph. When you sign up, you'll explore some of life's most important questions, gain a greater appreciation for how the Bible confronts pain and hardship with redemption and hope, and discover how the struggles people faced thousands of years ago are deeply relevant to us still today. Take this 6-lesson course whenever it's most convenient for you, at your pace or in your schedule. Signing up is easy and free when you go to learnfromhillsdale.org today.
Hearing the importance of even the simplest of lines from the text truly expands the understanding of the Bible.
The passionate way the instructor presents each point and why it's important is masterful.
Join the hundreds of thousands of Americans who are enriching their lives through this exclusive online course from Hillsdale College and gain access to this premium content today.
What I hope you'll get from studying Genesis in this course is a deeper appreciation of the biblical insights with regards to the human person, its psychology, our predilection towards rivalry, but also reconciliation.
Sign up for the Genesis story, free of charge, at learnfromhillsdale.org today.
Well, with the anniversary of the overturning of Roe v. Wade on June 24th, Campus Reform reached out to student leaders of pro-life organizations across the country to see what the campus climate has been like since the landmark Dobbs decision was handed down. 3 out of 5 students that Campus Reform interviewed say they have had more vandalism, more backlash since Roe was overturned June 24th of last year. Why such anger? Here with me to discuss the disturbing trend is Campus Reform correspondent Emily Fowler. Emily, good to see you today.
Good to see you too. Thank you for having me.
Greatly appreciate it. So tell the good folks here what you've experienced, what you've learned, what you've found when you're asking these questions.
Yeah, for sure. So, I was there at the Supreme Court a year ago, the day Roe v. Wade was overturned, and I expected by now that, campus climates would have settled down quite a bit, but actually what we're seeing is the opposite effect. So at the Leadership Institute's Campus Reform, we've been covering this trend for the past year or so, and I interviewed a young student from Rider University who had actually had a pro-life display torn to bits. There was another student at William Mary who had a cup of urine thrown on him, and then there was another student at Campbell University, which is actually supposed to be a Christian school, and she was repeatedly stalked, harassed, and sent death threats. And this is all at a Christian school.
Attacked at Christian schools, isn't that just the most bizarre thing of all? These so-called Christian schools supporting abortion, supporting transgender issues, supporting a lot of things that would be, in my estimation, not in line with their charter. But maybe I'm wrong. Emily, help me out.
Yeah, I don't know. I go to a Christian school that does actually align with biblical values. So I have no idea what Campbell's deal is with this. But it just goes to show that even at some Christian universities, the left has indoctrinated higher education to such a degree that we are seeing liberal bias, even on campuses that should be pro-family, pro-life. And you're seeing the exact opposite. And it's really, really disheartening, and it's really disappointing for these students, especially because if pro-life students aren't safe at Christian universities, where can they be safe?
Yeah, if they can't do it there, then one carry it. So here's the question. Why do you think after Roe v. Wade, several of the states, including the state that I live in, Michigan, has moved aggressively toward making abortion legal up to the moment of birth? This has been the trend. Become more aggressive. Some states have broken right, many states have broken left. The divide on abortion has grown wider. So why this hostility? Because I think the trend toward abortion at any time during a pregnancy has become much more prevalent than anything else. Why this hostility?
I think it's 2 things that we're seeing, especially in higher education. One, these students have been taught from a very young age that abortion is a woman's right and that children are only going to slow them down in their careers. So they've been taught that and instilled that from their entire academic career. You see organizations like Planned Parenthood Generation Action that are specifically planted on college campuses and targeting women in their 20s because those are the majority of the women getting abortions. And then the second thing is that I think everyone does have a conscience, and deep down these students do know that abortion is murder, and they don't want to reckon with that reality. And so they're doing everything possible in their power to silence anything that's going to bite their conscience.
So how do we get there, Emily? Because here's the problem. In America, it's become quite clear. The all or nothing question is a loser for conservatives, for Republicans. Because as we saw in Michigan in November of 2022, when presented with the all or nothing question, the voters of Michigan chose everything, abortion up to the moment of birth. When Tudor Dixon, the candidate for governor in Michigan, said no exceptions ever on abortion, she lost by 12 points. She got clobbered. It's a losing political argument. So how do you get somewhere where you can limit abortion to some extent? Because it seems to me we're not going to eliminate it altogether. And if you stand and demand that that's the only acceptable answer, it's going to cost us more lives in the abortion clinic than less. What do you say?
I think you made a very good point there that we really need to emphasize taking those little steps, because though it would be wonderful if at the federal level we had a law that said that all abortion was illegal at this point, that would be wonderful. But, the question, like you said, is how do we get there? And I think, the Supreme Court's overturn of Roe v. Wade last year was a great step in that direction. Now, did it legalize all abortion? No, but it was a step in that direction. So now that we've, established on the federal level that decision is going back to the states, I think that all of us on the state level just need to be very active in supporting, pro-life and to speaking out, whether that be on the college campus or in the workplace, because the left has made us so scared. And I think that's a big, point of theirs, is they make people feel afraid. And then once they're afraid, they can't say anything and they don't do anything. And I think we need to stop being afraid. I think that's the first step.
I agree with that part. But you also have to, I think you're right about what you said. We have to take small steps back to reclaim just sanity in some of these states, like Michigan, like New Jersey, like New York, like California, that have taken a complete leave of common sense and sanity, saying, well, you just abort a child up to the moment of birth. Now, I don't know if you can find a doctor to do it, but the fact that it's even on the books, to me, is gut-wrenching. Because I agree with you. If we could ban abortion altogether, that'd be great. But we're not there politically. It's not the current environment we have, so you have to find ways to protect as many unborn children as possible. I'll give you the last word, Emily.
Yeah. I think that my message to all students out there would be to just be vocal, whether you're at a conservative school like me or whether you are at a secular school where, you might get harassed and you might, have violence taken out against you. You might have death threats. You might get urine thrown at you. But regardless, anytime we let that get in our way, we are letting the left win. So I would just encourage all students out there to be vocal, even when it's hard.
Even when it's hard, speak up and be heard. That's what the First Amendment's all about. Emily, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
There you have it, Emily Fowler. Well-spoken young woman. She gets to go to a Christian school that's still a Christian school, apparently. A lot of them migrating away from what they were established on, what their charters say, and who they are supposed to be as institutions. So there you go. Coming up after the break, Mike Pence has been in the Republican presidential nomination race for over a month now. And even though Pence has a wealth of experience working in government, his polling is almost, non-existent. We'll cover that story and much more straight ahead on America's Voice Live.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm here to tell you about my brand new product, My Slippers. What makes my slippers different from those other slippers is my exclusive 4-layer design. I wanted my slippers to have everything you'd ever want in a pair of slippers.
When I first put my slippers on, I was like, wow, they feel great, and most importantly, they have the support that I need in a pair of slippers.
I'm interrupting this commercial to let you know we're having the biggest My Slipper closeout sale ever. Get our all-season My Slippers and sandals at clearance prices. They're made with our patented impact gel that absorbs and releases pressure so you can comfortably wear them all day long. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get our all-season My Slippers, originally on sale for $59.98, now only $25, or our sandals for just $19.50. Quantities are extremely limited, so please order now. Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm here to tell you about my new product from MyPillow, towels that actually work. Watch this absorbency test. Here's another towel that we randomly went out and bought. Here's one of my towels with the nice design. I don't know if you can see this, but you could line a swimming pool with this. I mean, this is crazy. Get rid of it. Towels that actually work. What a concept.
I really love the towels. They're really great. They're super absorbent.
I'm interrupting this commercial to let you know we're having the biggest clearance sale ever. Get our 6-piece towel sets for only $29.88 with your promo code. My towel sets are made with proprietary technology and include 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get our 6-piece towel sets. Originally $99.98, then on sale for $49.98. Now we're closing them out for only $29.88 while supplies last. Once they're gone, so please order now.
I work at Lumi Deodorant, and I'm going to tell you how to get the best deal on Lumi. It's the starter pack. You pick 2 full-size deodorants, and you get 2 mystery items for free and free shipping. So now's your chance to try Lumi Whole Body Deodorant with 72 hours of odor control.
We believe American flags should be made in America. At Allegiance Flag Supply, every flag is sewn right here in the USA.
We're proud to bring manufacturing jobs back to America.
Shop now at showallegiance.com.
Former Vice President Mike Pence has been accused of adopting a shrug-and-give-up approach in his recent attacks on Florida Governor Ron DeSantis regarding the Disney feud. Despite Pence's extensive political experience, his polling numbers are almost non-existent, very low. A recent Real Clear Politics poll showed his average at 5.8% compared to the president's 51.1%, that Trump, being President Trump, of course, Governor Ron DeSantis, 21.5%. Pence aligned himself with former President Donald Trump and presidential candidate Nikki Haley in criticizing DeSantis for his abandoning of free market principles and risking investments and jobs in his campaign against Disney. Pence said this, and I quote, "When the governor of Florida decided to launch a full-scale campaign of governmental retribution against Disney, he wasn't taking a page out of the conservative playbook. He was following in the footsteps of the radical left. Pence has sided with corporations over the will of Florida voters and the protection of children and parental rights." Twitter users point out that Pence's approach resembles a conservative playbook of inaction and surrender and emphasize the need for GOP candidates who are willing to stand against the radical left and corporate allies to protect the country's future. Reuters reporting yesterday that Donald J. Trump is the only living president, think about this, who is not a descendant of slaveholders, either a current or living former president. He's the only one that's not a descendant of slaveholders. Just let that roll around a little bit. Jimmy Carter, George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, all have direct lineages to slaveholders. That would be George H.W. Bush, too, who passed away recently. So there it is. Among the current 535 lawmakers of the 118th Congress, Reuters determined that at least 100 descended from slave owners, including fake Native American Senator Liz Warren. Figures. 28 senators, 2 Supreme Court justices, 11 governors, and 100 Congress members, both Democrat and Republican, can trace their family history, the lineage, to at least one slave owner, including Republican Senators Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Tom Cotton, and James Langford, plus Democrats Elizabeth Warren, Tammy Duckworth, Jean Shaheen, and Maggie Hassan. U.S. Supreme Court Justices Amy Coney Barrett and Neil Gorsuch, also direct descendants of slave owners. President Donald J. Trump, the only living president, current or former, whose ancestors moved to America after the abolishment of slavery and whose ancestors chose not to profit from buying and selling human beings. Oh, that must make the left go wild. Go wild. Well, an Albertsons-owned Washington State grocery store, Hagen's, has initiated a campaign requesting its customers to donate money. I mean, you see it all the time when you check out, can you give a little bit of money here to this cause or that cause? Their money to go to DEI, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Awareness. Yep. The donation prompt on the screen asks, would you like to donate to help advocate for DEI awareness? While the screen prompts donations of $1, $3, $5, and other. Hagen's has posted a sign advertising its own charity, the Hagen Foundation, informing it can support organizations dedicated to bringing positive social change and ensuring the complete inclusivity and well-being of all members of the community. Hagen Foundation webpage says donations benefit several charities, including the American Cancer Society, the Chinook Enterprises, and Faces Northwest. It also includes the Northwest Justice Project, whose website states they embrace the values of race equity and justice initiatives, with a commitment to addressing racial disparities through legal guidance, representation, forging community partnerships, empowering clients, combating all forms of injustice, and striving for racial equality by undoing systemic oppression. In other words, a very, very woke agenda. Fox News reporting Albertsons spokesperson saying the fundraising campaign currently being conducted at Hagen in Washington will benefit nonprofit organizations such as Down Syndrome Center of Puget Sound, Special Olympics Washington, Disability Rights Washington, National Multiple Sclerosis Society, and the American Cancer Society. The spokesperson, they neglected to mention the Northwest Justice Project. I know you're shocked. Let's see. The most decorated of all North Carolina State University NCAA swimmers, Kylie Allens, was compelled to change in a janitor's closet during meets due to men competing in women's swimming events. Allens, the latest woman to come forward against biological men competing in women's sports. She was interviewed on Fox News' Laura Ingraham Friday, and she explained the suits the women wear can take up to 45 minutes to put on. This left her feeling vulnerable and exposed to the possibility of men walking into the locker room at any time and oogling all over. Allens was interviewed by Fox's Laura Ingraham on Friday. Listen to this.
Thank you for having me. Like you said, the 2022 NCAAs was something that I never expected to ever experience, and it was horrible to go through that. At the best meet of my life, the most prestigious meet in collegiate swimming, women were being forced to change completely out of their clothing into these tight tech suits that take up to 40 minutes sometimes to get on. And the way that I had handled it was to change in the storage closet. And people have joked with me about how this gender confusion stuff forced me into a closet, but honestly, I was just so thankful and still so thankful that I had at least that little bit of privacy, even if it was in a closet.
Yeah. Florida House of Representatives member Greg Steube met with Allens last week discussing her experiences. Steube sponsored the bill, the Protection of Women and Girl in Sports Act of 2023, which passed, by the way, in the House by a vote of 219 to 203. That's it. Democrats all opposing this. Every single vote opposing this came from Democrats. Steube said Allens would rather change in a closet rather than experience the sexual harassment that comes with undressing in front of Will, you can call me Leah Thomas, a biological male who insisted on being in the female locker room with it all hanging out. Allens ended her career at NC State as a two-time NCAA champion in the 2021 400 medley relay and the 200 medley relay. She is also a 31-time All-American, 5-time ACC champ. Allens raced against Thomas and was beaten in the 100 free swim event. So it just goes to show you, is any of this fair? The answer is no. All right. We will get back to the news after a quick break and a message from our sponsor, Birch Gold. With Biden in the Oval Office, we've seen inflation surge and deficit spending, and the national debt have hit all-time record highs. It's directly because of these challenges that President Trump recently warned, and I quote, "Our currency is crashing. Will soon no longer be the world standard, which will be our greatest defeat, frankly, in 200 years." Said that at the Lincoln Day dinner in Michigan just a couple of days ago. Now, in a direct affront to the dollar's status as global reserve currency, the BRICS group of nations, led by China and Russia, rumored to be just 2 months away from launching its own currency. We'll see. With the dollar seemingly on its last legs, it's more important than ever to take a hard look at moving some of your savings into gold. And you can own gold in a tax-sheltered retirement account with the help of Birch Gold. That's right, Birch Gold will help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. And the best part, you don't pay a penny out of pocket, not one penny. To get started, Birch Gold giving away a free information kit on gold. Just text the word America to 989898. Think about this. When currencies fail, and they do, gold is a safe haven. How much more time does the dollar have? Who knows, especially with BRICS looming ominously overhead. Protect your savings with gold. Now, Birch Gold has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Thousands of happy customers. Text America to the number 989898. Get your free information kit on gold. Again, text America to 989898. After the break, a story that reminds us of just how wonderful America is, plus your answers to our America's Voice question of the day. Don't go anywhere.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back. The My Pillow guy.
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, My Pillow 2.0. I'm interrupting this commercial to let you all know that you have made My Pillow 2.0 a huge success. And because of your amazing support, we've expanded My Pillow's USA manufacturing and jobs. To make room for this, we're clearing out our Percale bed sheets. And to thank you, I'm giving them to you at closeout prices. King size, only $39 a set. Queens, $35 a set. Full size, $29, and twin size, just $25. So go to My MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime offer. Get these MyPillow bed sheets now. Once they're gone for good.
Funerals can be emotionally devastating for a family to go through. Besides the sorrow, loved ones are left with the high cost of arranging a funeral. Funeral Advantage was formed to help protect your family when they need it most. It pays your loved ones up to $20,000 immediately for funeral and any other expenses.
It's a good feeling to know that my family will be taken care of if anything happens to me.
Funerals can easily cost $9,000 or more, but government benefits pay only $255, leaving your loved ones to pay the rest.
It's so easy. Just answer a few simple health questions. This is so affordable, even for someone like me who's on a fixed income.
If you're 40 to 85, get information on how to protect your family. Funeral Advantage is something we all need. There's no risk or obligation. Call now.
Get the facts about how easy it is to protect your family. Call 800-845-1758. Don't wait. Call now.
Hi, everyone, and welcome. If you or someone you know were injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to tell you how much your case is potentially worth. So, Tom, tell the viewers watching at home who should call in right now.
Well, Gina, anyone who's been injured in an accident that was not your fault should give us a call right now. We have live agents available to answer any questions you have. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, Tom. You heard it, folks. Call now.
All right, what makes America great? Great people do. During a routine dive to clean the oceans off the coast of Florida, 4Oceans CEO Alex Schultz found something that obviously still had value to somebody. Take a look.
I got a brand new iPhone. It's dead.
Well, the brand new iPhone sealed in a plastic bag was in far better shape than most of the smartphones found by Schultz and his cleanup crews. Along with the bag, the phone was sporting a waterproof case, and Alex was able to charge the phone and get in touch with the person's emergency contact. Despite all odds, he was able to return that phone to its rightful owner. Look at this.
How are you?
Hi. Oh my gosh, he's on a fishing trip with his dad.
Is he?
He's going to be so excited.
So this is the waterproof case. Yeah, literally in this, sitting in the middle of Lake Hogan.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
Of course.
Now, 4Oceans, the guys famous for selling those bracelets made of beads of ocean plastic, and their work in the U.S., Guatemala, Indonesia has removed over 29 million pounds of plastic from oceans, rivers, and coastlines, and that's a great thing, too. All right. Here's the question of the day. Are the Trump documents a big deal to you or not? Are they or not? Wilton Leonard, hell no, it's okay for Hillary and Biden, but not okay for Trump. Democrats are not above the law. Wallace Falcone, president privilege, but not for Pence and VP Biden. Carolyn Townsend writes, the big deal to me is Biden destroying America, and he has not been impeached for treason as well as others should be gotten. All right, we'll leave it there for today. We'll have more tomorrow, by the way. As these scandals continue to spread, we'll have more tomorrow, I am just quite sure. Send me a note to SteveGruber.com. Go there, drop me a note, say, hey, Steve, this is what's going on. Here's what I like, here's what I don't like, and communicate with me. And tomorrow morning, start your day right here in Real America's Voice with the Steve Gruber Show begins at 6 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday right here. Back tomorrow afternoon with America's Voice Live.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm here to tell you about my brand new product, My Slippers. What makes My Slippers different from those other slippers is my exclusive 4-layer design. I wanted My Slippers to have everything you'd ever want in a pair of slippers.
When I first put my slippers on, I was like, wow, they feel great, and most importantly, they have the support that I need in a pair of slippers.
I'm interrupting this commercial to let you know we're having the biggest My Slipper closeout sale ever. Get our all-season My Slippers and sandals at clearance prices. They're made with our patented impact gel that absorbs and releases pressure so you can comfortably wear them all day long. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get our all-season My Slippers, originally on sale for $59.98, now only $25, or our sandals for just $19.50. Quantities are extremely limited, so please order now.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good.